The Cathedral Quarter of Belfast is an area that is in the ongoing process of redevelopment. Since the decline of linen and shipbuilding industries, the area fell into ruin as the headquarters of industry and banking relocated. In the wake of peace and power sharing between Unionists and Nationalists following devolution in 1998, investment poured into Belfast. Under this political economic climate, the Cathedral Quarter has been rejuvenated to the point that it is now virtually unrecognisable to the area left in ruin through the early 20th century and during the Troubles. On the back of initiatives from the Department of Social Development and private sector land use changes, the area is now known as Belfast Cultural Quarter, typified by small bistros, high-end bars, live music venues, consultancy offices and hotels that occupy the old infrastructure and cobbled streets that once bore witness to Belfast's industrial expansion. Though redevelopment has not been completely uncontested, collective groups have disputed what they think the area should be used for and how it should re-emerge. This essay will seek to look at how a new cultural group has taken the Cathedral Quarter as their part of the city, specifically focusing on how chic bars, nightclubs and coffee houses have become traces of a certain group. By day, these cultural traces are used as a place of business to meet clients and colleagues formally and informally. By night, the Cathedral Quarter comes alive as a place for this new group to unwind. Typically, this is in the form of meeting for cocktails in small, sophisticated bars or attending intimate live music gigs.
It's just another bad dream. It's just another little scare. Oh, it's just another nightmare, and I am terrified. But let yourself love. Let yourself love, let yourself be loved. I'm trying to give my life to you. Let yourself love, let yourself be loved. Let yourself love, let yourself love, let yourself be loved.
I will also explore how other cultures have engaged with or have been excluded from these new places, both in the regeneration process and in their use of this new space, and how power relations between cultural groups are constantly shifting. It is clear that the Cathedral Quarter is distinct from the collective city, not only in how the space is used, but by the people using it. Alan Burner notes the lived experience of the majority of Belfast's inhabitants as being entirely detached from the experience of young professionals and tourists in redeveloped areas. He notes, Belfast, in my impression, based on fashion, is of a predominantly working-class city, with leisurewear, baseball caps, chunky jewellery and tattoos being a favourite style, particularly amongst the young. Spides, as they have long been known in Belfast, or chavs, as they are usually referred to in Britain, are a common feature of the city's public spaces. The Cathedral Quarter, in my experience, is not used at all as a space by the Spides, who we deem to be out of place in an area typified by refined bars and restaurants, transgressing cultural norms simply through their appearance. To hear what those who worked in the area thought, I spoke to Hayden Scott Lambert, Liquid Ambassador for the Merchant Hotel. I asked Hayden if the clientele he experienced mirrored the group that Burner points out makes up the majority of Belfast inhabitants, or if a different cultural group dominated this cultural trace.
In the hotel bar clientele?
Oh, for sure. I mean, our price range, our prices dominate who can come and spend money, especially in the hotel. It's open to everyone. We don't have a door policy as such. Tattoos are a no, open tattoos, so that's definitely a no, but you definitely do notice it. It is young professionals, people who want to experience leisure, a little bit of culture, and just fun times. Cocktails is this bar. Cocktails put a lot of people off anyway.
Yeah.
It's a select.
So you think the price more than anything?
Well, no, not particularly. I think it's people's idea of what a 5-star hotel is puts people off.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they think 5 stars is a little bit up themselves, but it's not. It's a very relaxed atmosphere, as you can see. Friday and Saturday night, it's the same atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I think it's just people's idea of their own perspective of what 5-star means puts them off at the front door.
Yeah.
You know, they think they're going to spend too much money, or you know, we don't do selected products that a lot of people enjoy in every other bar.
Yeah.
So it is a niche bar.
Yeah.
So you know, we get a niche clientele.
Hayden points out that technically the space is open to all, and formal barriers to access are minimal. However, informal barriers, in the form of people's perceptions of the area and of the merchant in particular, act as a constant obstacle. The hotel bar has tried to overcome bordering of place through changing ideas of what the bar should be used for and by whom. The extent to which this place has become more accessible and accommodating of other cultural groups is debatable. Looking around the hotel bar, it seems that the only people consuming products here are either affluent tourists or well-dressed locals of an older generation. There seems to be an etiquette that, although not formally defined, is expected inside the hotel. Informal borders exist beneath the surface. The bar was voted the world's best hotel bar in 2009 and sells the 5th most expensive cocktail in the world at £750. These statistics, the grand architecture, the Rolls Royce at the door and the atmosphere inside the bar all help to perpetuate informal barriers to access and continue the dominating power of a certain cultural group. The cultural group that use the Cathedral Quarter on a day-to-day basis, though widely thought to be different to other groups in the city, are hard to categorise using recognised methodologies. One controversial theory that could be appropriate to defining the people that use this space is Richard Florida's creative class. Florida defines the group as a fast-growing, highly educated and well-paid segment of the workforce on whose efforts corporate profits and economic growth increasingly depend. A cultural group that subconsciously shares a common ethos that values creativity, individuality, difference and merit. The super creative core, made up of scientists, engineers, university professors and the like, is supplemented by thought leadership and creative professionals. This is reinforced by walking around the Cathedral Quarter and talking to people who live and work here. I asked Debbie from the Potted Hen Bistro and Sarah from the Duke of York if the creative class can be seen using their bars regularly.
In the bar?
In the Duke of York we get a mixture of people. We have a lot of people coming. We mostly get professionals, young professionals, businessmen, and we get a lot of tourists. It's really a spot for everybody.
Okay, great.
So there's on the other hand creative bohemians, designers, musicians, what have you?
I would say there's a good chunk of them that definitely have that perspective. I mean, it does have a very bohemian flavor to it, especially regarding some of the restaurants. However, you have a lot of mixing between cultures and classes. It's like you do in the business culture and class, mix with students, mix with a bohemian arts district and service school right down the street. So it's kind of a place for everybody because we conglomerate and live together.
Yeah,
so.
no problem.